Hey, what's up guys? Imran here, Monster Gadgets. I hope you're all having a wonderful day wherever you might be. Thank you so much for joining me. And in today's video, I'm going to be unboxing and setting up the Apple Watch Series 7 and comparing it to my Apple Watch Series 4. That's right, I'm coming from a Series 4 and finally decided to upgrade to a Series 7 just because now I feel there's a big difference between what I've had compared to what Apple just released a little while ago. So I thought it was worth the upgrade instead of the incremental updates they've had with the previous versions. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Alright guys, welcome back. So as I mentioned, I'm coming from a Series 4, which for me is going to be a huge upgrade to a Series 7. I'll get into some of the technical data here shortly, but first let's go ahead and unbox this. And for those of you that might be new to my channel, all my videos are timestamped, so go ahead and use the bar below if you want to go ahead and fast forward to one of those sections that might catch your interest. And while you're down there, go ahead and give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and let's go ahead and get started. Here's the box that the Apple Watch comes in, typical Apple packaging. We've got Apple Watch in the front, the sides are blank, same thing with the corners, and then the bottom here, I'm going to cover this up just so that my IMEI number is not exposed, but you guys can see here, this is the Series 7 in midnight aluminum case with a midnight sport band, and this is the 45mm variant. So let me go ahead and show you that real quick. Right there. All right, let's go ahead and unbox this. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. Lift up the tabs, put them to the loop, open up the box, and you're greeted with another box inside. So let's go ahead and open this up. It looks like you've got two separate boxes. This is for the watch. This one is for the band. Let me go ahead and remove this box out of here. So let's get the band out first. On the back, Apple Watch sport band, graphite stainless steel pin, and then we've got a tab here. So let's go ahead and open this up. Just like that. Apple Watch. Instructions on how to put the band in, and then of course we've got the medium large here with the top, and then of course we've got the small and medium as well. So depending on your wrist size, you can go ahead and pick and choose which one works best for you. Alright, put that aside. And just for those of you that might not know, this is actually, if you have the previous version, all the bands still do work with it. So for example, I've got my red one here, I've got a leather case or leather band, and I've also got a stainless steel band. All of these will work on the newer watch, so they are all the same size, which is nice. Otherwise you would have to go out and buy all new bands. And again, this is my Series 4 right here, so these bands are interchangeable. Alright, let me go ahead and put this aside here for a second, and let's get to the actual watch itself. Alright, here I'm gonna blur this out probably so you guys don't see my IMEI number, but two tabs here. I'm gonna go ahead and peel this off. 1, 2, and let's trim this over and get this box to open up for us here. Come on. There we go. Designed by Apple in California. Instructions, I'm assuming, the fine print, how to charge it, instructions, nothing else. Let's put that aside. Then we've got our charger. Now, Apple claims this new Series 7 is supposed to be 30% faster in charging, and they have upgraded it to a USB Type-C connection coming from a USB Type-A. I'm not sure how beneficial that actually is for people. For me, I typically charge my watch in the morning, and it gets me throughout the day, and then actually overnight as well, because I do track my sleep time and things like that. If for whatever reason, if I use my watch too much and my charge becomes less, then of course I get alerted saying I gotta charge my watch more before I go to bed. But I think typically most people will charge their watches at night. So I'm not sure having a 30% faster charge, how beneficial that's going to be, unless you're in a crunch, you forgot to charge it, and you want to plug it in and charge it. Might come in handy. But me, I'm not too concerned about the battery charge time. So we've got that. And then of course, here is the watch itself. Let me go ahead and pull this out. Here is what the watch looks like. This looks so nice and clean compared to my current watch, and I'll show you guys what that looks like right now. So we're used to the crown on the side, still there, the button's still there. Everything looks the same. It's just a matter of it being a better screen or bigger screen. It's still a 45mm, but they've stretched it out to where it covers more area in the front. So you guys can see there, it's 45mm. So let me go ahead and put this over here. We'll power this on, but before I do, let me show you what my Series 4 looks like. Once that shuts off there, I've got a little bit of a haze type of finish on it now. It's quite old, but still no scratches for the most part, and it's held up really well. So, all right, let's go ahead and power this on. I'm gonna go ahead and put the bigger strap on here as well. I'm gonna hit the power button while it powers on. We'll put the strap on. The strap just, of course, slides in just like that. And of course, I did it the wrong way. That's the top one. Let's go ahead and put the top one in here. Let's go ahead and put the bottom one in here. Still powering on. Should be a pretty simple setup. All right, bring iPhone near Apple Watch. I'm gonna go ahead and clear out my alerts. There it is. Continue. Set up Apple Watch. If you have an Apple Watch, you can set it up here. Set it up for myself or set it up for a family member. This is going to be for myself. This is a GPS and cellular version. Set up for myself. It's going to go ahead and ask us to scan that. Come on. There it goes. Your Apple Watch is paired. Simple enough. Restore from backup or set up a new one. I'm going to go ahead and restore from backup, just that way I don't have to do all my settings and everything again. So restore from backup. It looks like it's going to give me the different versions I've had. So the most recent one was 9/26/21. That's a while ago. So like in September basically of 21. That's fine. I don't think I changed a whole lot in the watch, so I'm gonna go ahead and back it up from that one and continue. And let's see what it does. Connecting your Apple Watch. This may take a moment. All right, we'll let it do its thing. Agree to the terms and conditions. Sure. Otherwise, you won't let me continue. Signing into your account. This may take a few minutes. For those of you that are following me on Twitter and commenting on my posts, thank you. I appreciate it. If you aren't following me, go follow me on Twitter. It's for Monster Gadgets. I'll pop it up here. You guys can go see that. I tend to do a lot of updates and pictures of my car and tech and stuff like that. So make sure you follow me on there. All right, bold and text size. I'll leave that as standard. I guess if I make it smaller, that's pretty cool. It actually tells you not on here, but also shows you live on here so you can get a view of how big the text is actually going to be. I don't need it to be standard actually. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, probably that right there. And then, or maybe one up. Yeah, that looks good. Don't need to do a bold. Let's go ahead and continue. Apple Watch passcode. I will go ahead and create a passcode. This is a part where I'm going to go ahead and cover up for you. So if you ever find my watch, you don't get into it. What? Re-enter passcode. Okay, there it is. Blood oxygen level. Sure, I'm going to go ahead and track that to enable. Keep your Apple Watch up to date. Yes, continue. It's doing this thing right here. You guys can see it's loading. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do my old color combination of straps, which is the black and red strap. That matches my Monster Gadgets, for those of you who probably haven't noticed, but yeah, I'm going to probably run this black and red. Continue with Apple Pay. Yep, I'm going to go ahead and continue all that. I want it to all carry over. Face ID. Adding card. So while it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and change out this strap real quick to my older red strap. There we go. Card added. All right. It's going to make us do all, because I'm going to add all these later just for the sake of this video. Continue, SOS. Cellular setup. Yes, I'm going to have this set up. So when your Apple Watch is not connected to your iPhone, you can continue to make and receive calls, access to apps, and cellular data. To enable this, I'm going to go ahead and use my main line. I'm going to go ahead and contact Verizon here and get that set up. Let me go ahead and enter my password. All right, I'm going to have to reset my password because I don't remember what it was. All right, I was able to log into my account finally after resetting the password. So once I'm logged in, it's asking me if I want to replace an existing device or if I want to add a new device. I'm going to go ahead and replace an existing device. That way it's going to be replacing my Series 4 watch. So I'm going to go ahead and hit replace. This is all going to be blurred out, but it's asking me to turn on Wi-Fi calling, and it's asking for my address, which is correct on here on my account. Confirm that you're replacing the old Apple Watch Series 4 GPS 44mm. Yep, confirm. Replacing device. Keep your Apple Watch turned on and close to your phone while we replace the existing watch on your plan. That's what Verizon's saying. All right. Your new Apple Watch Series 4 GPS cellular 44mm space aluminum with black has been replaced. Your old Apple Watch on your plan. Okay. Installing will be ready soon. When Apple Watch is away from your phone, you can make and receive calls, send and receive messages, get calendar and mail updates over cellular. Yep, that's fine. Continue. Always on display. This is one of the reasons why I also bought this watch. It's because I like the always on display. I used to have it on my Samsung watch many years ago, and I loved it. One thing that I absolutely missed on the Apple Watch, so this was an opportunity for me to have that back. So I'm going to go ahead and continue that. App view, I liked the grid view. Yep, that's fine. And then Apple Watch is syncing. All right. Your Apple Watch is almost ready. You'll get an alert when it's done, so you can use your iPhone as you normally would. While you're waiting, learn more about the Apple Watch. All right, so I'll let it sit here while it does that. And while it's doing that, let's go ahead and quickly compare the actual two watches side by side. So if you look at it closely, there's not much difference. You can hardly tell the difference between the actual size itself. Of course, let me first clean this up. Your Apple ID and phone number now is being used. Okay, that's fine. Let me get that cleaned up a little bit. And if you look at this, I mean, basically the series, let me take this tab off. Basically my Series 4, which is this one right here in my right hand, this is a 44mm, this is a 45mm. So when you look at it side by side like this, you really can't see a whole lot of difference. The real difference is going to be in the actual screen itself, because again, this one's kind of stretched out all the way to the edges. Compared to this one, it's not as covered. So physically, to the naked eye, you're not going to be able to tell the difference of 1mm, just a tiny bit. So the left one is the new one that looks just a little bit bigger than the one on the right. Again, very subtle difference between physical sizes. The buttons and everything else literally looks the same. The crown looks the same. The difference on the left here is the speaker. You've got one speaker grill here compared to the two here on the older one. And then the bottom looks pretty much identical with the exception of a few different sensors. So you guys can see that there. All right, let it go ahead and sink in. Once it sinks in, we'll look at the actual screen itself and see what it's like. Alright guys, so the watch just came on after it has fully synced. I think there's still some apps that I might need to download because the screen looks a little bit different, especially from my Tesla app. But initially looking at it, I can tell a big difference. I mean, between, for example, here, let me reset this real quick. Between how the text looks, just the temperature, for example, the display itself, it's so much bigger. The text and everything compared to the 44. So I'm already liking this. That's just my first impression. Obviously, I'm going to play around with it and see. I'm going to go ahead and put it on my wrist. The one thing, as I mentioned earlier, as far as the battery life goes, I use both my Apple Watch as well as a couple of other watches, but this is my G-Shock one. Never have to worry about charging it. Never have to worry about anything. Doesn't take batteries, all solar power basically. I've had this for, I want to say 8 or 10 years. And G-Shocks, I mean, you might not know, but G-Shocks are very, very reliable and rugged type of watches. But with this one, it's more of a routine to charge it each day. And I wish they would come out with one that lasts a few days. That would be wonderful. But as of right now, it only lasts basically one day and maybe half a night or something, but that's about it. So initial impressions on my wrist, again, the text looked bigger, the screen is stretched out more, so my initial thoughts is that it looks pretty cool and a little bit bigger. I'll have to check and see how the, let me just turn these things on real quick, how the actual like texting goes, so let me just quickly try that and see. I'm going to blur this out so you guys can't see, but I'm going to text on my friends. Oh, my daughter just woke up too. The text initially, I can see that it's easier to text with the swipe on here compared to my other one. So I will say this is going to be a win in my opinion. But again, this is just my initial thoughts. So I'm going to go ahead and do a lot more work on this, kind of test it out and see how I like it, if it's still worth the upgrade for me based on what I know, and get back to you guys. So if you aren't following me, make sure you follow me. I'll have an upcoming video with more in detail review of my thoughts on the new watch. But let's go ahead and talk a bit about the technical specs of this real quick. So I'll pull this worksheet from tomsguide.com. So I will go ahead and leave a link down below if you guys want to go check this out. But basically it gives us the comparison side by side of which Apple Watch 7 compared to 4. As far as the sizes go, we've had 41 millimeters and 45 for the 7, and then 40 millimeters and 44 millimeters for the Apple Watch 4. As far as the colors go, we've got midnight, starlight green, blue, and red for the 7, and then silver, space gray, and gold for the 4. And then the processors are S7, S4. Now again, this is a part that really I was looking for, is always on display, which the 7 has, and of course the 4 does not have. The storage is also doubled in the 7, 32 compared to 16. And then the health feature, it does have a blood oxygen reader on the 7, where it did not have that on the 4. The battery life is exactly the same, 18 hours. Again, the Apple is claiming that 7 is actually 30% faster in charging compared to the previous versions. Again, I'm not sure how useful that's going to be unless you're in a crunch time or something. That might come in handy, but those are pretty much the differences. So again, what I was looking for was always on display, as well as the bigger display, so I can go ahead and text and those type of things from the display itself. So that's it for the features. If you guys have not subscribed already, make sure you subscribe, because I'm going to go ahead and test this out for the next few weeks and really give you my input on if it's worth the upgrade or not. I want to think it is, but I won't know for sure until I actually try it. So stay tuned for that. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.